again, beginning on April 1st and going through December 1st. A woman from Beaver is charged after causing a two-vehicle crash in Hopewell Township. The Department of Education announced Tuesday that close to half of their workers will be cut as the Trump administration works on removing the agency. Measles outbreaks in West Texas and New Mexico now have more than 250 cases total as the concerns continue for the contagious virus that causes the measles. And Danielle Smith has a report on Governor Josh Shapiro's budget, including a $50 million investment for repairs to older homes, and a grassroots group supporting the idea but saying the dollar amount falls short of the need. For the weather forecast, today it'll be partly sunny skies with a high near 66, and tonight will be partly cloudy skies with a low of around 41, and tomorrow will be mostly sunny skies with a high near 69. On this Wednesday, March the 12th of 2025, at 32 minutes after 8, we've got a temperature of 40 degrees currently in Beaver County. That's a look at news headlines. More at 9:05. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
It's time for sports here on Beaver County Radio. And in the world of sports, the Pittsburgh Penguins rode their captains back for the second straight game in a row, and the Penguins went on to victory last night. Paul Staggerwald has more.
Penguins goaltender Tristan Jarry picked up where he left off in Minnesota on Sunday afternoon by playing a sensational game against the Vegas Golden Knights in his return home on Tuesday night at PPG Paints Arena. Jarry was really good early when the Vegas Golden Knights had 9 shots in the first period, and it was the Penguins who got on the board first at 17:48 of the period when Sidney Crosby cashed in on the power play.
On the near wall, still Kevin Hayes with the puck at the half boards. Chips it over to Raquel. Centering pass, Crosby, they score!
The Penguins held a 2-1 lead until there were 6 seconds remaining on the clock. The Vegas Golden Knights, with the goaltender pulled, able to tie the game at 2 with just 6 seconds left, and the Penguins responded to that by winning it in overtime with Erik Karlsson delivering the game-winning goal. It was a heck of a game, though, for Tristan Jarry as he made 36 saves. The Penguins were outshot 38-17 in the game, and they win it by a score of 3-2. That's 2 wins in a row for Tristan Jarry and the Pens. This is Paul Steigerwald for the Penguins Radio Network.
Pens are next in action on Beaver County Radio on Thursday night as they host the St. Louis Blues at the Paint Can. Airtime 6:30, puck drop just after 7 o'clock. Penguins hockey on Beaver County Radio, brought to you by St. Barnabas, a place for mom. Forward RX, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, Patriot Home Care, and Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends bring friends. And Bobby Moe, congratulations. They're going dancing for the first time in 10 years. Josh Omajofo scored 24 points, grabbed 13 rebounds. Robert Morris beat Youngstown State last night 89-78 to claim the Horizon League Tournament Championship and clinch an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Jawan Maxey scored 23 points for YSU. Robert Morris led the entire game. They will now make their 9th appearance in the NCAA tournament, most recently in 2015 when the Colonials beat North Florida in the first 4 before losing the number 1 seed and eventual champ Duke in the first round. Pitt, unfortunately, their season comes to an end as they lost to Notre Dame yesterday on a controversial call with half a second left in the game, and they lost 55-54. So let's see what else is going on in the world of sports. Tiger Woods announced that he had less invasive surgery for ruptured Achilles tendon on Tuesday, yet another injury that would seem likely to keep him out of the Masters and perhaps other major championships this year. Woods posted development on his social media accounts without detailing how long he would be out. Former Pittsburgh Pirate and Yankees ace Garrett Cole had season-ending Tommy John surgery yesterday on his elbow. The 34-year-old right-hander was examined Monday at Cedars-Sinai Curlin Job Institute in Los Angeles, where the surgery was then performed. A date has been officially set for the Eagles to visit the White House. That will be April the 28th. The Bucks won in spring baseball yesterday, 9-1. And we'll have Pirates action for you Friday nights here on Beaver County Radio. Playoff basketball yesterday. Unfortunately, some of our local teams bowed out in the second round of the state playoffs. Beaver lost last night to North Catholic 84-53. And Montour lost to Char Valley 48-38. Aquinas Academy beat Turkey Foot in 1A 85 256. Tonight's action will feature Aliquippa playing Mercer at 6 p.m. at Elwood City High School. Also be taking on Union at North Allegheny High School at 6 p.m. Lakeview will take on Swickley Academy in the late game at 8 p.m. at Elwood City High School. And then Clarion will take on Northgate at Freeport High School at 7 p.m. Switching over to the girls quickly. Cannon Mac versus Upper St. Clair yesterday. It was Upper St. Clair over Cannon Mac 46-32 in 6A. In 3A, Ulsh moving on 36-34 in a good game against Greensburg Central Catholic. 2A yesterday. Unfortunately, the Aliquippa Lady Quips season comes to an end as they lost to Penns Manor 52-29 yesterday, and Southside Beavers Lady Rams season comes to an end as they lost to Red Bank Valley 58-31. Taking a look at action tonight. On the girls' side of things, it will be North Catholic and Harbor Creek at Oil City High School in 4A. And also in 4A, the Black Hawk Lady Cougars will take on Clearfield at Clarion University at 7:30 p.m. tonight. And finally, in 1A, Aquinas Academy will take on Bishop Guilfoyle at Armstrong High School. That's a look at sports. It is currently sitting at 8:37 in Beaver County. And now joining me in studio is Dr. Jeff Cole from Geneva College, as well as Brenda Mellen from the Carnegie Free Library of Beaver Falls. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Appreciate you guys coming in this morning. Brenda, we'll start with you a little bit.
Okay.
First off, tell us a little bit about the Carnegie Free Library of Beaver Falls.
Well, we are the center of the community, a large building. You can't miss us. If you have been by in the last few months, you noticed we have a brand new roof on our library, and that has allowed us to do a lot of the repairs on the inside of the building. So if you haven't been by, stop in and see. It's just beautiful.
All right. And so, Dr. Jeff Cole, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Geneva College.
Sure. I'm a historian, and
Do me a favor. Pull that mic up to you a little bit so everybody can hear you.
Yeah. Is that
Okay,
good?
there you go.
All right. I'm a historian of American history, and I also teach a course on genocide.
Okay.
And so this is one of the reasons that I got involved with bringing the exhibit to Beaver Falls.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. So, Americans in the Holocaust exhibit is coming to Beaver Falls here, next week, right?
Yeah, it starts on the 17th, on Monday.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
It's an exhibit, a traveling exhibit that's only appearing in 50 places throughout the United States between 2024 and 2026. And the Carnegie Free Library in Beaver Falls is the only place it will be in Pennsylvania. So we're really excited about that. It's coming in from the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. in cooperation with the American Library Association. And the library in Beaver Falls won the grant for this, and we're excited. It'll be, as I said, it'll be going up on Monday, the 17th, and be on display during library hours until the 28th of April.
Wow. I know when Brenda originally called me to talk to me about it, she was very excited about this display coming to the Carnegie Free Library. So what's your thoughts about it, Brenda?
I think it's awesome that we're able to bring an exhibit of this caliber to our community and surrounding communities. And there will be more to come. And with Dr. Cole here, training docents to help educate anybody who needs additional information as they walk through the exhibit. It just kind of joins us with the Geneva College folks, and we're very excited about that as well.
So also throughout the time of the exhibit, you're going to have a period of time where you have special speakers?
We do.
Okay.
The first one is on Wednesday, the 19th, a week from today. It's
Okay.
Dr. Barbara Burston. I'll let Dr. Cole go through some of the other ones and some of the content that they're going to be talking about.
Sure. Well,
Okay.
Dr. Burston is an expert in Americans in the Holocaust, and she's taught at Pitt and also Carnegie Mellon.
Okay.
And so she'll be doing the opening event for us on the 19th. That's at 6:30. And then an interesting program that's being brought to us from the Heinz History Center, a scholar there at the Heinz History Center, which is Beaver County and the Holocaust. And essentially asking the question, what did people in Beaver County know about the Holocaust? When did they find out what was going on, and what was their response to it? So that's a really interesting event as well. And then we're going to have a generation speaker on April 2nd, and that is Deborah Stoiber, who's the daughter of Holocaust survivors.
Oh, okay.
She's going to do a presentation on the life of her parents, and then Her parents are currently in Florida, but she's going to Zoom them in, and people have an opportunity to ask them questions about what they experienced and what their perspective is. And then on the 27th of April, a really special event that we're calling Repairing the World, and that's stories from the Tree of Life shooting. We're going to have a panel of people from Pittsburgh who are survivors of the Tree of Life shooting. And we're also, prior to that, actually going to screen the WQED documentary about the Tree of Life incident and the shooting. And so we're really excited about having that and giving people an opportunity to ask questions of that panel as well.
So for a lot of people that I guess ignorance, I don't know, but explain to them, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but explain to them exactly what is the Holocaust.
Yeah, sure. The Holocaust was the Nazis' effort to eradicate all the Jews in Europe. Now, when the Holocaust broke out, or when war broke out, I should say, in 1939, in September of 1939, there were 9.5 million Jews in Europe. By 1945, the Nazis had succeeded in killing 6 million of those, like 2/3 of the Jews of Europe. And that's what we call the Holocaust, through gassing, through shootings, working them to death, and that sort of thing. And America, of course, didn't get involved in the war until 1941, but America, the American government, was beginning to become aware of what was going on. Really, the Holocaust didn't begin in earnest until 1942, but there were indications of things that were happening to Jews in Germany as early as 1938, as discrimination against Jews. And one of the most important of those was Kristallnacht in November of 38. And that was on the front page of newspapers across the United States, including in Beaver County. And so people in Beaver County knew that that there was discrimination that was occurring against Jews. Of course, no one could see into the future and imagine what might happen. And we really didn't know the full extent of the Holocaust, of course, until 1944 and 1945, when the Allied troops, the Soviets, were coming from the east into the west, and the United States, Britain, Canada were coming from the west to the east and found what they found in these camps.
So what year do they say, because, I mean, there's still discrimination to this day against the Jews. I mean,
Sure.
We just saw that, as you were talking about, with the Tree of Life. Most recently, one of the biggest ever that happened here in the United States. What year was the Holocaust basically what they call it, came to an end?
It came to an end really in 1945 with the surrender of Germany. Prior to that, as the Soviets actually were the ones that discovered the death camps, because the death camps were only in Poland. And the Soviets were the ones that discovered those beginning in 1944. Auschwitz, which most people are familiar with, was liberated in January of 1945. And by that time, the killing had pretty much stopped at that point.
So, Brenda, what made you guys want to bring this display to the library?
I think that we are always looking for opportunities to share information of a wide range of topics. And this is just the first one, but we hope to bring many more in the coming years. This exhibit that we're performing now is going to be a self-guided tour, a lot of visual information as well. So it's interesting. It's a learn as you go almost, to read a lot of information that you probably hadn't heard in the past. So it's another way to just bring that type of information to the public.
I think that one of the big things that a lot of Beaver Countyans are proud of, that's something that we all have, is we have many historians that love to learn about the history. And sitting here doing what I do, and phone callers and things like that to participate, you learn that a lot. So this could be a very good display for people to learn about the Holocaust that don't really know a whole lot about it.
Right. And you don't need a ticket. This is a free exhibit.
Okay.
You just need to come to the library. And as I said, it's self-guided. You can walk the exhibit at your own pace. You can be there all day if you'd like. We encourage schools, teachers, to participate, and they can call us and set up group tours. So the information is on the website at cflbf.org.
Okay.
Carnegie Free Library, beaverfalls.org. And there's contact information there. Talk to John Sederbeck, and he can set up the time and make sure we have docents there to assist, Dr. Cole if necessary to assist. And we are currently closed on Fridays, but we can be open if groups want to come in on Friday for their tour.
And when will be the hours that people will be able to come see this?
The hours are 10:30 to 4:30,
Okay.
Monday through Thursday, and Saturday.
And is this going to be like down in the basement where all the other history stuff is, or?
No.
Okay.
We need to invite you over for a tour.
Okay.
We have opened the second floor,
Ooh, all right.
and we've replastered the walls, painted everything nice and
Nice.
fresh, ready to go for
Okay.
events and exhibits. So please stop by, take a look.
All right. And that's the normal hours of the library itself is?
The library is open from 10 to 5, and
10 to
we're
5,
just giving
okay.
our staff a little bit of time to get everything up
Yeah.
and running.
Gotcha. All right. So, Dr. Cole, let's talk a little bit about the Holocaust itself. And how did the Holocaust affect? Because there's a lot of Jewish people live in the United States of America as well as in Beaver County. How did the Holocaust affect Americans?
That's a good question. A lot of people were really separated from that. So let me back up a little bit.
Sure.
Jews have lived continuously in Beaver County since 1854, when a family, the Steinfeld family, Raphael and Rosa Steinfeld, came to New Brighton. And I believe that there's a cemetery now that's named for them, as a matter of fact. And then as industrialization came to this part of the country, a lot of Jews came here to work in factories. Although initially, interestingly, what they did was they were merchants. And so in a lot of the downtown areas and the river towns of Beaver County, they had stores. And so people got to know them in that way as well. The Jewish population in Beaver County actually peaked in the late 1930s, interestingly. And one of the reasons for that was because there were Jews who were wanting to come to the United States. And that's kind of one of the answers to your question, is that there were Jews who were trying to come to the United States because the Nazis, Hitler's government, the Nazi government's goal was to, before 1939, actually encourage Jews to leave Germany, which a lot of people don't realize that. And so after 1939, then they prevented them from leaving. But one of the places that people wanted to come was to the United States. And the United States was allowing up to 25,000 a year to come in. Many more wanted to come in. By 1939, 300,000 were on the waiting list to come. And so one of the ways that this affected Americans was Americans were seeing this on the front page of their newspapers. They were realizing that there was discrimination, and some of them actually reached out. In 1940, as a matter of fact, the people in Beaver County founded the Beaver County Center for Refugee Children, which was focused on bringing Jewish children actually to Beaver Falls. And we'll have more about that on the 25th of March with the Beaver County and the Holocaust talk. So I think people were seeing it on the front page of newspapers, they were hearing it on the radio, and the ways that they could respond was by advocating to the government to allow people to come, but also sponsoring people as well. Because, of course, in the 1930s, we're in the midst of the Depression as well. And one of the things that the United States government required was that people have sponsors in order to come over. And so that was a little bit difficult. They could be individual sponsors, they could be organizational sponsors as well. So there were people in Beaver County who were trying to advocate, especially because we had a large population of Jewish people here, to advocate for bringing people here and allowing them to enter here.
Now, there's a cemetery in Pulaski Township. I'm not going to say exactly where because I don't want people. But it's kind of like you just come out of the woods and just walk, and it's fenced in, and it's beautifully taken care of, and it's all Jewish people that are buried there.
Interesting.
So it's kind of wild. And our former owner, Mark Peterson, Mark, he showed it to me at one point, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And somebody goes up there, and it's just all Jewish people, and they take care of it. And I don't know the backstory behind it. I wish I did. But it's just an interesting thing to see. And you don't realize how many Jewish people actually live in Beaver County or have been from Beaver County over the years.
Yeah, I think by the late 1930s, there were about 1,800 living here in Beaver County. And Beaver County has, the Jewish community in Beaver County has produced several notable personalities, you might have heard of Mo Rubenstein.
Absolutely.
He was, of course, a legendary coach, I think, between 1928 and 1950 in Ambridge. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Ambridge High School Stadium is named for him,
Yep,
right?
sure is.
And so he's probably the greatest luminary from the Jewish community in Beaver County. But he was, he lived here and was active during this time.
So a lot of great people have done a lot of great things in the Jewish community. There's businesses in Beaver Falls that actually, that to this day Jewish people own. And it's just, if you remember Buddy Middleman, if I'm not mistaken, he was Jewish. Am I correct on? I think so. Owned
That I don't know.
Wolf shoes and things like that. If I'm not mistaken, he was a Jewish. He's Jewish. He passed on. But there's been a lot of that throughout the years within Beaver County and throughout our area. How do you feel that the Holocaust affected Beaver County over the years?
Well, certainly it would have affected the Jewish community here, being concerned about relatives and friends who were still in Germany who were trying to get out. As far as how it affected it, I think it was through basic concern of the general population for the people. I know in 1939, even before the Holocaust began, the United Presbyterian Church in Beaver actually hosted presentations about persecutions of Jews in Germany. So people were aware of this. And I think, too, we have to remember that there were soldiers, American soldiers, who were helping to liberate the concentration camps in Germany. Those were not death camps, but they certainly came upon a lot of people who had been killed or who were near death. And so it's through that as well that stories came back about what people were seeing and what they were, a concern about what had happened, because people didn't know the full extent of it really until 1945.
Do you think that the Tree of Life incident that occurred a few years back brought a whole new light, maybe brought a lot of bad memories back for a lot of people that are Jewish, but also shed a whole new light on the Holocaust?
I'm not sure that it shed a new light on the Holocaust, but I think what it did was it raised our awareness that anti-Semitism is still alive and well in our country. And that was very, very clear in that the shooter, said that he was anti-Semitic. And so I think that's a reminder for us that history has legacies that we still have to deal with today. We are products of the past. And there was actually, during the 1920s and 1930s, there was a Nazi organization that was very active in Western Pennsylvania called the German-American Bund, and this German-American organization. And when that went away after the war, those ideas don't go away. Ideas don't go away. People go away, but ideas don't go away. And so those are still underneath the surface. And I think we see some ripple effects of that today as well.
Dr. Cole, what made you want to become involved with this and the Holocaust display? Yeah,
that's a great question, Frank. I think any time that we can talk about persecution of peoples in no matter what form it takes, I think it's important to talk about that. That's why I teach a course on genocide, because I believe that in order to build good citizens, to build a good society, we need to be aware of our past, first of all, and secondly, how we've treated people in the past, because we don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. Unfortunately, after the Holocaust, the mantra was never again, and unfortunately it has happened again in places like Cambodia, Sudan, Bosnia, and other places.
Are there still a lot of Holocaust survivors?
Yeah, the population, of course, is dwindling. Right. Many of them are in their 80s and 90s at this point. So the people who are still alive today were mostly children at the time. I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, we still actually have some in our area. And the Holocaust Center of Pittsburgh has a speaker series where every once in a while they will bring people in to talk about their experiences in the Holocaust.
Well, as an adult living through the Holocaust, as a child, I think it would scar you more.
Yeah, perhaps. They're going to have different memories, right? They're going to have different memories, being separated from their parents, knowing that their parents perished, that sort of thing. Often children, especially at Auschwitz, were used for experiments and that. And sometimes the stories are, these are survivors, so these are stories of triumph. These are stories of hope as well.
All right, we're visiting this morning with Dr. Jeff Cole from Geneva College and with Brenda Mellen from the Carnegie Library, Free Library of Beaver Falls, talking about Americans in the Holocaust display that is coming. In the last couple minutes we have, Brenda, go back over and talk about the display, and any information anybody wants and how they can get a hold of you so that they can come check out the display.
Okay. The information about the display and the speaker series is on our website at cflbf.org, and that is being constantly updated with new information.
Okay.
I've had different people contact me just in the past few days to ask, can I be a speaker? They have a topic that they want to talk about. So please reach out to us if you have any information or want to ask any questions. The exhibit is on the second floor of the library, and there'll be signage to point you in the right direction. It is self-guided, so you can walk it at your leisure. And there are large panels, and if you go to the library today in the main lobby, there is one panel that is currently up. It's massive in that massive entryway.
Mm-hmm.
So it provides a lot of information. And I know just listening to Dr. Cole here this morning, topics can be tough, but you're on your edge of your seat listening to what people have to say. And it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And I would just say that there are two main questions that the exhibit addresses. It's what did Americans know about the Holocaust and what more could have been done. So that's really the main focus of it. And as Brenda said, there are these huge panels and there are 4 areas, and a question goes along with each one. There's technology as well. For example, people can pull up newspapers, local newspapers, regional newspapers, to see what was on the front page of the newspapers at that time. So it's really kind of very interactive.
And this whole thing's free, right?
The entire thing is free.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So, all right, anything on social media for people that are social media buffs? Do you have anything on
Yes, it's on Facebook.
Okay.
Just look up the Carnegie Free Library page. You probably could just search on the topic, and it'll pop up because all of us have been circulating Facebook pages. So
Okay.
the information is out there.
All right, and it starts next Monday, you said, the 17th?
Right, 17th.
Starts Monday, and the first speaker is Wednesday.
All right, and
The
runs through the
speaker
20th?
series starts at 6:30 in the evening.
Okay, yep, so, each day. So real quick, go back over the 4 different speakers you guys are going to have as well.
Yeah, sure. So Wednesday the 19th is Dr. Barbara Burston, who is going to be talking about America and the Holocaust. She's an expert on that. And then a speaker from the Heinz History Center talking about Beaver County and the Holocaust. That's on the 25th of March. And then on April 2nd, our generation speaker, Deborah Stoiber, who's going to be talking about her parents' experience and then allowing people to interview her parents, a Q&A. And then on April 27th, the documentary about the Tree of Life and a panel associated with that as well.
All right. As they said, you can get more information on Facebook and also on the Carnegie Free Library website as well. Guys, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Frank.
for having us.
All right. This is a subject we could talk about for a couple hours easily without a problem. So,
Well,
all right.
we invite you to visit us.
Absolutely. I want to come down and see it. I think it'll be a cool day. I got a couple people I know love history, so I'm going to bring them along with
There
me.
you go.
So, all right, coming up next, Eddie Crow and something to crow about here on Beaver County Radio on your Wednesday morning. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 W.